Welcome to the Kellyanne Cares podcast, a one-of-a-kind show created to become your number one tool for your personal growth and business development. My name is Kelly, former pro makeup artist and luxury travel expert turned multi-passionate entrepreneur. My purpose is to get you organized to become the most productive version of yourself in both business and life. I'm here to show you that if you manifest, visualize, and put in the work, your dreams will indeed turn into a reality. Tune in to hear raw, unfiltered conversations from myself as well as my expert guests as we discuss our wins and losses, habits and routines, and what keeps us motivated, stimulated, and inspired. I promise to add value, raise awareness, help you take action, and incorporate more wellness into your day. Life is short. Invest in yourself. Make your own rules. Create your own happiness. And most importantly, enjoy the ride. Buckle up. Today's podcast experience starts now. Hello, and welcome to a very special episode of the Kellyanne Cares podcast. Today, we are celebrating, let me do a little iced coffee celebratory spin, my 7th year of podcasting, the 7th year of this show, 7 years of also writing, producing, and developing other podcasts. How that went by so fast, I honestly have no idea, and half of it's a blur. I am so grateful that I just started a show. I just started. That's all you need to do is just start. I've been spending so much time on Threads, and the most amount of comments and interactions I get from people is saying, I want to start. Girl, boy, you just need to do it. You just need to do it. And that's all I'm going to say on that, because I want to dive right in to the 7 things to celebrate for my 7-year podcast anniversary. Now, I always do something special every year to celebrate, and it also falls on my birthday, as we know. This year I turned, as we know, or maybe we don't know. If you're new here, I always do something special on my birthday, and 7 years ago is when I launched my show. Now, number 1, consistency and commitment. Let's just celebrate that, because if you're consistent with something, you're going to see results. If you're committed to something, you're going to see results. You have to show up for yourself. Sometimes it's very hard to do that. So if you can't, you just let others know. And that's exactly what I've done with this show. Over 7 years, I've only taken a couple breaks, and those breaks were honestly the most over the last 2 years. And that's because I've been on this very intense healing journey. And when I want to share it all, you sometimes can't, because you're in the middle of it, like in the thick of it. Also, on the last few shows, I talked about writing my next personal growth book and how nobody talks about going through this post-traumatic growth and like what you actually go through yourself while you're writing the book for others is so intense. And nobody really talks about that. I honestly think I need to do a show just dedicated for that, for writers that are looking to write personal growth books that are also going through something traumatic and healing from it at the same time. Like, it's probably one of the most difficult things I've ever had to do twice, not once, but twice. But number 1 is consistency and commitment. And when I launched this show, I launched it because I thought I was going to be blind and paralyzed from 2 diseases I was told I had. And at the end of the day, all I would have is my voice. So I used my voice to help other patients, to help other business owners, and to make money. Because if I was rolled up in a ball in bed and I only had my voice, a podcast is the only thing that was going to make me money. And at the time, I was only listening to like Lewis Howes, Ed Milet, Gary Vee, and they were all just like, just do it, just do it, just do it. And so I did it. I was uploading video files, okay? I had no idea the difference between an audio and a video file. I had no fucking idea. My battery of the fire alarm thing in the house was always beeping because it was out of the battery. So that, I didn't even know how to edit out of shows. Like, it's just insane. I just started. And because I started, other business owners and other online creators were asking me how I did it. And I created an entire podcast development company out of that. That's why I've been writing and producing and developing shows since, because I created something that needed to exist. I saw demand something and I just made it happen. And when you're sick and you don't have any other options, you just go. But that's always been my mindset my entire life. I've always created opportunities that never existed because I wanted them. And that's just always how my mind has worked, how I've always worked personally and professionally. And so because I just showed up for myself and I just started, we're still here 7 years later. Like, I don't, like, it's just so insane. It's absolutely insane. And honestly, I'm so proud of myself for recording on chemo days, recording through my healing journey, recording during the pandemic, recording while writing my book. Like that, those were the hardest times. And taking a break is also much harder because I want to show up for myself, but also show up for you. But sometimes you have to show up for yourself more, so, and give yourself a break so that you can be the best version of yourself for the other people around you, and as well as you, like my audience. And I've always said that. And a lot of other creators and podcasters I've been talking to on Threads, they're saying, you know, I'm so burnt out. I don't have any content ideas. I'm like, you just need to take a break. Because if you're creating content online for so many years over and over and over again, and if you're doing it for clients as well and have other creative projects, like, it's called burnout. And that burnout is real. And when you add anxiety and depression and PTSD on top of that, it's very, very intense. Like, so intense that you just need to pause. Like last week, I took a break. I wasn't online all week, with the exception of talking to people on Threads and doing all of my clients' creative work. So now I have 4 brand new shows for you. Like, this is how it works. And you just got to listen to your mind. You got to listen to your gut and follow what your body is telling you. The listener growth for the show is number 2. And I really want to celebrate that because there's over 50,000 of you. That number to me is insane. So if I'm speaking on a stage and there's 50,000 people, like, that's a shitload of people. That's a lot of people. And I'm entirely grateful for each and every one of you that take the time out of your busy life to listen to my show, period. Like, I'm just so grateful. And being in almost 100 countries, I think it's 98 right now, which is insane. Oh, I should have written like the top 7 countries, but I didn't. The third thing I want to celebrate is the top episodes. And I'll go over those at the end because there's actually more than 7 that I wrote because they're really important. Number 4, I want to celebrate the incredible guest experiences and appearances I've had here on the show. And those you can see, I've organized them through series on kellyannecares.com. So if you visit my website and you just type in guests, you'll see. And then the 5th thing I want to celebrate are the milestone moments. You know, being featured in publications and other podcasts and other shows, and maybe some billboards soon. So stay tuned for that. Number 6 is personal growth. This show is all about personal growth and business development. And I go through my own personal growth while I'm creating experiences for you to listen to. And if you ever have any special requests, if you don't like certain content, like, seriously, let me know. You can always text me on the hotline number. It's 310-461-7051. That will be in the show notes for you. Or seriously, just slide into my DMs on Instagram. And then the 7th thing I want to celebrate are the future plans I have for this show. Next up, you are going to be hearing a 7-part business series. It's going to be short, sweet, facts, to the point, strategic. If you are looking to launch a business or improve yours, rebrand, anything business related, front to back, beginning to end, you're going to love this series. And originally it was a 6-part series, but I decided that it's going to be 7 parts because of the 7-year anniversary of this show. So that is coming up next week. I'm really, really excited for that because I've been working on this for a while now, as well as my 2nd book that's coming out, which is another personal growth book. I just launched Coloring Collins about a month ago. That is my coloring book collection for children. The 4th one is coming very soon. The link will be in the show notes. You can go to coloringcollins.com and check them out. There's a fruit and veggies one for toddlers 2 to 4. There's a unicorn themed for children 4 to 8. There's a space themed book for children 8 to 12. And the 4th will be one dedicated for kids with special needs. That was very important to me. And I just want to share that I'm dedicating a new community over on my Substack to keep these episodes and conversations going. I'm going to be doing private shows over there. So more like intense conversations, more things like I don't want on the actual internet, but like in a private community where I'm going to be opening up and sharing a lot more personal situations and more strategic coaching. And I think the charge is $8 a month, so it's totally worth it. So I really want to spend more time there, and also on Threads. So if we're not connected on Threads or Substack, let's do that today, because that's where I'm going to be spending more of my time over the next 6 months, the remainder of the year. Which, by the way, are you feeling the energy of this new full moon coming? Because I am on fire. Some full moons I'm dead and I'm like exhausted and I feel like I'm going through chemo again. Other days I'm on fire. It depends on the moon. So I usually call my friend Arouge and she gives me the moon report because she's so well versed in that. Hi Arouge, if you're listening. Also, while I just name dropped her, can we talk about other business friends and your person and your actual friends and how they show up for you and support you in business? The most difficult thing as an entrepreneur is to have friends that aren't entrepreneurs. It's not difficult. Well, sometimes it's difficult because you want to vent to them and they have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. But if you have friends online that you've actually never met in real life and you've been friends with them for years, you can call them hysterically crying and they just get it, they know, and they're there to support you. That is a thing. So if you're new in business, that's what you can expect. You can expect the support from random strangers on the internet that you've never fucking met in real life to come and support you, hands down 100%, where the closest people in your life, your friends, your family, they just don't get it and they don't know how. That is the norm. So if you're new to business, that's a fact. So stay tuned for more information on that because I really want to do another episode on that. But all things personal growth and business development, we're sticking to the schedule like this. And I also really want to talk about the companies that have made, the companies and the products that have made this show possible to make it continuously free for you to tune into each and every week. One of them is repurpose.io. I've been talking about this tool I've been using in my business, and I incorporate it into all of my clients' business as well for years. I think I started using them like right before the pandemic hit, but if you are somebody that creates content online and you need to repurpose it, this is the tool that you need. I've actually created a whole entire funnel system for myself as well as my clients to make our lives so much easier. I pay $20 a month. You could try it for free for 2 weeks and then pay $20 a month. And it's like having a free social media manager to repurpose all of your content. It is unbelievable. I can go into a whole story about repurpose.io, but if you just go to kellyannecares.com, click on discounts on products that I love, or just type in repurpose.io. You'll see so many episodes come up, but I want you to try it if you need it, and it's free. I mean, why not? My Amazon store is also where I organize all of my favorite business tools, productivity tools, kitchen tools, like everything I use in my everyday life is there, as well as my coloring books. And they're on the author page of Coloring Collins as well. Something else is MS3IT. And that is an all-in-one online sales and marketing platform for small and medium businesses. If you have yet to check out ms3it.com, it will be in the show notes. You absolutely need to. Fetch Rewards is probably one of my favorite apps on my phone. I steal all of my friends' receipts and take pictures of them because it gives me points. And then I tally up those points and I get myself Amazon gift cards. But you don't have to use Amazon. You can use restaurant gift cards, like literally anything you could think of. You can redeem your points into cards, digital gift cards. So I like Amazon stuff for free. I don't know about you. So if you download the Fetch Rewards app using my code, it will be in the show notes. You can actually get, I think it's like 1,000 or 2,000 or 5,000. I honestly forget because they switch up the promos all the time. But you'll be halfway there to get a $10 free Amazon gift card. I mean, I don't know what's better than that. And they always have like different promos. I just don't have time to do those all the time. But I do enjoy taking a picture of a receipt that will get me at the end of the day free shit on Amazon. I don't know about you. Blackwing is the company that has the pencils that I use all the time. And they create pencils and different tools for a balanced life. That's their slogan, and I love it. They have a cult following, which I am now a part of, and as well as one of my clients who's an incredible artist. She uses them now, and their lead is, I think, Japanese graphite. You wouldn't even know because, like, if you're not familiar with graphite or tools like that, like, you have no idea. But until you touch these pencils, I wrote my entire book, Everything is Messy, with this pencil with multiple. I had 3 at the time. Now I have 5 or 6 different ones, meaning different lead. So you write differently. It creates a different aspect on the paper. And their pencils and their sharpeners, like literally, if I had $1 million, like I would probably give a quarter of it to Blackwing. I would definitely invest in them. I'm that passionate about the tools that I use to write and create with. Like, I'm just obsessed. Like, as you know, or maybe you don't know, I color code my entire life on paper. And that started when I've always been super organized, which is why it's such a huge part of my business, getting you organized to be your most productive self. But everything is color coded because when I was going through chemo, I couldn't remember stuff because chemo brain is indeed a thing and it does last forever. And I would just remember everything by color. So I would do pink is like personal fun activities, orange is meetings, yellow is mandatory, green is bills, blue is medical or dental appointments, and purple is my podcast. I still go by those colors. It's on my wall calendar for the year. It's on my daily planner. Like literally everything is color coded. A bunch of my friends color code now. It's just a thing. But you can never tell somebody how to get organized. I always use this example. And I used to work on yachts for years. So that took my organization to like a whole nother level. And if you have a junk drawer in your kitchen and you know where certain things are always in that junk drawer and somebody comes and organizes it for you, where's your stuff? You're going to lose your mind. You're going to lose your shit. Like, where's my stuff? You know that it's always in that drawer, but somebody put it in a tidy little area in a different drawer and you're like, where the hell is my shit? Like, you would go crazy. I would go crazy. So you always want to do it meaning organize your own shit. Organize your life, your planner, your business, whatever, in a way that feels best for you. But my first suggestion would be to declutter, get rid of shit you're no longer using. I do this every first of the month on my phone and my laptop and everything. Photos, videos, clean up storage. It's great to get rid of clutter and negative energy and bring in fresh new vibes and energy. You'll feel it. And if you're not a very like spiritual and woo-woo person like me, like just try like baby steps. And I promise you, it is life-changing. But I always start in the kitchen, especially with like a pantry and food in your fridge and freezer. Like if you can't see what's in there, you should not be buying anything else. It needs to be clean and tidy and organized. Absolutely stuck up on stuff, but like you need to know where everything is and it needs to have a home. It just feels good. It just feels better. And you're able to create like better healthy dishes that way and be more organized when you're cooking. And something else that's going to save you time, money, and energy when you're in the kitchen and shopping for groceries is always have an ongoing shopping list in your phone. I go to 5 different markets to get everything I need for the month. So I always, like, as soon as we run out, like, I add it to that list. And then when the time comes, or if I'm running around, like, if I'm close to a store, like, I'll just go grab, like, what's needed. Or just wait until, like, the next month, like, see, like, okay, what do we want to switch up? Like, what do we want to try differently? Like, what snacks do we need? You know, it all just makes sense at the end of the day. But you've got to do what feels most comfortable to you. Like, if you're a write everything down type of person, then write it down. I just always have everything in the notes app in my phone for that specifically, because when I'm in the store, I can look at my phone and like just delete it, you know, but everything else, I always write down. So now that I've gone on a tangent of organizing and being in the kitchen, all that, I just wanted to honestly share like all these things I'm personally celebrating for the show, because I think it's really important that we made it this far together. But lastly, what I want to share with you are a couple episodes that originally I had 7, and then I just went on like a deep dive and I have like a whole page worth, but I will share the episode number with you and what it's about. So once you're done listening to this part of the show, you could just rewind and jot down the number, because I'm not going to add these to the show notes. Well, maybe I will, but I just think it's really important to share these episodes because they have the highest amount of downloads. That's what I was looking at. To continue moving on with the show, I want to take it to the next level, and I want to know like what people are listening to, what they've been listening to, what country, how long, you know, like all the back end strategic, logistic, all that fun stuff, the business aspect of my show. So episode 9 is so old, literally 7 years old. Your business is everywhere. That's what it's titled. And you'll probably hear the intro saying the Happy Workaholic Podcast, because that's how we started. And then when I released the book, we rebranded to Everything is Messy. And then that just didn't feel right. So then we rebranded for the third time to Kellyanne Cares, which just still in my heart and soul feels so good. And episode 271 is how to generate passive income and a profitable side hustle. I haven't gone back to listen to these episodes, but I know that one, well, we're on episode, that was like 100 episodes ago almost. But people are always looking for ways to generate more passive income, whether it's for their household or to have another revenue stream to their business. And coloring books, that's where it's at right now. I can tell you that. Episode 226 is how to manifest a dream-filled career with Lena Caltagirone. If you're not following her on Instagram, you should. That's episode 226. And again, she's talking about how to manifest and be passionate about your career. And she is a wealth of knowledge. And now episode 174, when and how you should fire your doctor. That has thousands of downloads. And obviously, because I was misdiagnosed, that was a very important episode for me. How to become more organized in business and life. I have so many episodes about this. That's number 105. 190 is how to create healthy habits and get you organized in the kitchen. Tips to save you time, money, and energy during a busy week. I literally just spoke about this, but that will give you more strategies. Episode 256, how creativity helps mental health. I talk about this all the time. And when I needed a break and I was struggling with my depression and I had a crazy situation of writer's block, that's when Coloring Collins was born. And that was literally 2 months ago. So that episode 256, again, was like 100 episodes ago. So I've been talking about this stuff for years. And then episode 106 is actually titled Benefits of Celery Juice. That episode I recorded when I started to detox from 13 prescription medications and my chemo. I started drinking celery juice. I thought I was going to die at that moment in time. And the celery juice, I think, at that pivotal time in my life, saved my mind, body, soul, and honestly, life. I don't drink it anymore. Every now and then I do. But at that time, I was heavily into the medical medium, as everybody is when they first find him. And that episode has thousands of downloads. It's insane because people are constantly searching for information. So if you're a podcaster or somebody that creates content online, the biggest tool for you is SEO, because when people are searching for things, you need to know that things need to be titled and episodes need to have names and things need to be, strategically put together so that others can find your content. So that right there is the reason why. Episode 237 is how to calm your busy brain and use music to elevate your mood and mindset. Again, that episode is so old, but still factual. And I always listen to one playlist over and over and over and over again. It's called Running Around the Castles at Midnight. My friend Arouge, she sent it to me years ago, and that's all I still listen to when I'm writing. I can't listen to lyrics. I need instrumental music when I'm writing. It's just a thing. And that is hands down my number one playlist on Spotify. Episode 191 is learning how to cope with PTSD triggers while running a business. 230 is healing through harmony with Susie, aka the Copper Vessel. You need to follow her on Instagram because she does the most unbelievable sound baths. And I've been doing sound baths and sound healing since I met her years ago. And excuse me, I think I have a little cinnamon stuck in my throat from this delicious iced coffee. I went to Beans and Brews this morning. Have you heard of them? They're so good. Okay, so that is so sweet. Sound baths have changed my life and been instrumental in my healing journey. I sleep with one every night. It's 8 hours. And then I do Susie's in the morning and in the afternoon if I need it. And I also have a lot of episodes on kava, ashwagandha, like a lot of supplements and things like that you can always search for. But sound healing is episode 230, and you'll learn a lot from her. Episode 329 is about patient advocacy, how to organize your medical records and patient portals. That is probably something that I talk about the most to friends. They don't have their patient portal set up for their kids. They don't have files with their documents. Like, you've got to be organized because you never know when something's going to happen. And when it does happen, the last thing you have time for in a stressful health, like traumatic situation, is to find medical records or figure out your password online. If you don't have that set up, do it now. I'm giving you till Sunday. Check back with me. But I am so serious when I say that. You have to be organized with your medical records, and you've got to have a patient portal for every single doctor that you see. Episode 243 is how medical malpractice can be prevented, and that is every single thing about my legal cases, the doctors, their names, what happened, everything. Episode 243. Episode 309 is The Art of Self-Publishing with Jen Sterling. She is a fantastic author. She has so many series. And we were talking about self-publishing our books. She's self-published all of hers, except for maybe one or maybe all of them. I think she had a traditional publisher for one. I'm not sure, but that's episode 309. It's a really, really good one. If you're on the fence of pitching publishing houses or self-publishing, that's a good one to listen to. Episode 356 is all about how you can increase your productivity in 2024, where I share my goals, my tools, my strategies. That was recent. That's a really, really good one and getting a ton of downloads lately. And then lastly, if you want to know anything about Coloring Collins, episode 358 is titled Coloring Ventures Inside the Pages of Coloring Collins. And that again shares the story of my writer's block and how I was trying to find creative outlets during my depression and how that all started, where you can find them. And I know I just gave you a little bit of information on it, but that will help you learn more about it. And also, if you're interested in learning more about how you can create passive income like that, just reach out. We can always hop on a call. But that is the 7 things I wanted to celebrate for my 7-year podcast anniversary. I know that's a lot. I went through a lot of previous episodes, but those are really good ones. And the ones that are getting the most downloads right now, like over the last 30 days. And you could see the thing with podcasting, like some of these episodes, like episode 9, that was 7 years ago, and people are still listening to that show. That is the thing about podcasting, and coming back and researching and just putting yourself out there and talking when you think nobody is listening, because they'll come back and they'll always tune in. Like, you just never know what can happen if you just don't start. That's the whole point of what I do. Like, I would not be in the place where I'm at right now if I didn't just start. Have months been zeroed out? Absolutely. Have I made the largest amount of money in my career? Absolutely. Like, entrepreneurship is a fucking roller coaster, but it's what I signed up for. It's what I'm made to do and why I'm here. And you just have to put yourself out there. And the best part is that it's trial and error with some things. Like, I've created programs where so many people have signed up, and then I've created programs where it's like crickets. Like, hello, are you not seeing this? Like, what's going on? You know, and it's just, you got to try different things and see what feels best. But what feels best for me is continuing on with the show in the most raw and unedited form. I am not spending time producing this show. I think my content is more important than sitting down and doing that. And that's just where I'm at in life right now. I don't have guests on my show because I don't have a studio space right now. And it makes it really difficult personally in order to find a spot to do that. And I had like 2 options. And one doesn't sound good. The quality of the sound, like, it doesn't make sense to pay for something like that. And then the other one they're redoing. So I'm like, okay. So I'm going to wait on having guests. I'm saying that right now. I still have like almost 300 applicants to go through. And I do want to continue the conversations with guests, but right now it just is really hard. So until I can figure out a situation that makes the most sense so that the shows are so good for you to continue listening to, I'm just going to see what happens with that and just kind of wait it out a little bit. But I just wanted to thank you for tuning in today, because this episode is really important to me. Oh my God, I didn't even cry. I tried to record this yesterday and I got like teared up. And then the audio was just like off, and I was like, let me just wait, because I try not to record late, and it was late and I was pushing myself and I was tired, and I'm like, why am I trying to do this? So again, you always have to listen to your mind, your body, and just what's best for you. Because if you don't